Hey everybody on YouTube, this is Kyle Snyder once again, aka Clipton, and here are my Week 3 predictions of the 2012 NFL season. I mean, last week it was very unpredictable. I mean, a lot of people got a lot of guesses wrong. You know, I was 8-8 last week, so hopefully I'll do much better this week, but once again, who can say? I mean, the NFL is the most unpredictable sport in the history of the entire world. Anything can happen in the NFL. You know, any team can win at any given week. So, pretty much, we'll see what happens. But anyways, here are my predictions for Week 3. First up, we got the New York Giants versus the Carolina Panthers. Now, obviously, the Carolina Panthers are going to be at an advantage for two reasons. One, they have home field advantage, and number two, some of the offensive weapons for the New York Giants are not going to be playing this week, you know, such as Hakeem Nicks and Ahmad Bradshaw. So obviously the Giants are going to be at a disadvantage as far as the offense is concerned. So it's pretty much going to be on the defense to win it for the Giants, which I think the Giants are barely going to pull this one out, and they are going to beat the Carolina Panthers. All right, next up, we got the Buffalo Bills versus the Cleveland Browns, two very lowly teams. These two teams that are almost always at the bottom of their divisions. And I think the Buffalo Bills are going to win this one because they seem to have a much better time scoring offensively, but obviously on the defense, that's where they struggle. And I think the Buffalo Bills are going to win this one. I mean, the Cleveland Browns, yeah, they are going to get some wins this season. It just won't be for Week 3 against the Buffalo Bills. All right, next up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Dallas Cowboys. The Buccaneers have been looking very strong defense-wise. The Dallas Cowboys, it's been like up and down for them this season. Yeah, they beat the New York Giants in Week 1, but against the Seattle Seahawks, they completely flopped. They completely blew it. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers seem to be solid so far on offense, so I'm going to give this game to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, they lost last week to the New York Giants, but still, I'm still going to give this one to the Bucs. All right, next up we have the St. Louis Rams versus the Chicago Bears. I'd expect the Chicago Bears to rebound and defeat the St. Louis Rams. I mean, the Rams won it last week because of that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty he assessed at the very end of the game against the Washington Redskins. If not for that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, I have no doubt the Redskins would have tied it and we would have gone into overtime, which who knows what would have happened. So the Chicago Bears better win this one, otherwise they are not going to go to the playoffs again. So it's pretty much a must-win game for the Chicago Bears. Next up, we have the San Francisco 49ers at the Minnesota Vikings. San Francisco 49ers, they are a very solid team. They are the team to beat this season as far as the NFC is concerned. I mean, if you want to get far into the season, you have to beat the San Francisco 49ers, which is what I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to fail to do. So the San Francisco 49ers are my pick for that game. Next up, we have the New York Giants at the Miami Dolphins, or New York Jets at the Miami Dolphins. I'm sorry. I got those two teams mixed up for a second. I believe the Jets are going to win this one. Yeah, Ryan Tannehill looked good on offense last week against the Raiders, but he's once again going to go up against a very hard defense, and the Jets are going to pull it out. They are obviously looking for revenge from their loss against the Steelers last week, so the New York Jets are going to win it. Next up, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the New Orleans Saints. Obviously, New Orleans does not have a good defense. They're going to have to rely on their offense to win, which, you know, obviously Drew Brees has been throwing an average of 2 interceptions per game this season. He's got to throw less interceptions if he and the Saints are going to win it. But still, I think the Saints are going to win it. Obviously, the 2 losses so far have been a slap in the face for them, a reality check. So I believe that the Saints are going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Otherwise, they are not going to go to the playoffs as either a division champion or a wild card team. Next up, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at Indianapolis Colts. Obviously, these two teams are wanting to make a statement with their quarterbacks. I mean, obviously, the Jaguars have Blaine Gabbert. The Indianapolis Colts have Andrew Luck. I'm not sure if Blaine Gabbert's going to be playing after he hurt his leg last week against the Texans. I mean, I don't know who's going to be starting at quarterback for the Jaguars, but nevertheless, I do believe Andrew Luck and the Colts are going to go 2-1. So the Indianapolis Colts are my pick for that game. Next up, we got the Detroit Lions at the Tennessee Titans. The Detroit Lions obviously they obviously lost to the Niners last week, but then again, the Niners were a very hard team. The Detroit Lions are obviously looking to get back on their winning streak. Obviously the Titans want to win a game as well, but I don't think they're going to. But who can say? But still, I mean, the thing is with Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson, and that's a deadly combination. You gotta cover Calvin Johnson at all times. Kind of like the Niners did. Obviously, if Calvin Johnson gets open, he's gonna score touchdowns. So the key to defeating the Lions, as far as offensively or defensively, is to basically keep Calvin Johnson covered. But then again, that is hard to do as well. But the Detroit Lions are my pick to win that game. Next up, we got the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Washington Redskins. The Redskins would have won last week if it weren't for that stupid unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that they committed. So I believe that the Redskins are going to defeat the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously, they're going to be much smarter in this game. They're going to show the Bengals D that they are a team on the rise, and that RG3 is going to be the Rookie Offensive Player of the Year for this season. So Washington Redskins are my pick. Next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons versus the San Diego Chargers. Two high offensive teams, two high octane teams. Both teams are 2-0, but only one is going to be 3-0 at the end of this game. And I believe that the team that's going to be 3-0 is the Atlanta Falcons. They seem to be much more confident on their defense than the San Diego Chargers are. They seem to be doing much better on their offense. So I believe the Atlanta Falcons are going to edge out the San Diego Chargers and hand the Chargers their first loss of the season. Next up, we got the Philadelphia Eagles versus Arizona Cardinals. Both teams are 2-0. The Philadelphia Eagles winning both their games by just a single point. The Arizona Cardinals pulling it out against the Seattle Seahawks, holding them off defensively. And surprisingly, they upset the New England Patriots last week. And who knows what's going to happen. Either the Arizona Cardinals are going to pull off another upset, or the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win by just a single point again. My bet is that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win by just a single point again. Hopefully that won't be the case, but hey, who can say? I mean, if they win by a single point again, then that's saying something. Alright, next up we got the Houston Texans at Denver Broncos. I'm going to give this one to the Houston Texans because they seem to be a much better team as far as the defense is concerned. And as we all know, defense wins championships. Yeah, offense wins games, but defense wins championships. And obviously the Houston Texans are looking to be the division champions again. And they have done so by really building up their defense. And their offense is going to be at near full strength again. So obviously the Houston Texans are going to win this one. And this is going to be a true test for Peyton Manning for the rest of the season. Right. Next up, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus Oakland Raiders. This one's simple. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they are much better on both sides of the ball than the Oakland Raiders are. The Oakland Raiders have just been a humongous disappointment this season. There is no way the Oakland Raiders are going to make it to the playoffs. I mean, they made a humongous mistake firing Hugh Jackson and after last season, and they're paying the price for it. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win this one. Next up, we got the New England Patriots versus the Baltimore Ravens. This is a humongous game. Obviously, the Baltimore Ravens want revenge after that blown field goal attempt in the AFC Championship game back in January. And, they're just hungrier for it. The New England Patriots, they're obviously going to want revenge after their humiliating defeat against the Arizona Cardinals last week. But this game comes down to whichever team wants it the most, and I believe the Baltimore Ravens want it the most, and they want to, once again, win the AFC North Division. All right. And then, last but not least, we got our Monday night game, the Green Bay Packers versus the Seattle Seahawks. 2 words, Clay Matthews. I have no doubt that Clay Matthews is going to break the single-season sack record. He's going to get more than 22.5 sacks this season. It's just a matter of how many sacks is he going to get in this game against the Seattle Seahawks. So, obviously, the Green Bay Packers are going to win this one, and it's going to come down to their defense, as well as their offense. But then again, the Seattle Seahawks do have the home field advantage. They have the noisiest football field in all of the NFL, so it's going to be a hard game for the Green Bay Packers, but I have no doubt that they will beat the Seattle Seahawks. So those are my picks for week 3. Hopefully I'll get all 16 picks correct, but once again, the NFL is the most unpredictable sport out there. So who can say what's going to happen? Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.